Hi folks, welcome back to another Sorare video with myself, Sorare Contender. If you haven't seen my Sorare 27 strategy video, I would suggest watching that one first. This is the second video of the new European season. Just going to give you a little update on how the first two game weeks have gone and what I am cooking up lineup wise for Game Week 3 this weekend. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on the video. There will be plenty more to come over the coming weeks and months. So, going back to the first game week, you might not be able to see that on the screen, but I picked up a lot of essence in game week 1, 21,000 essence. And if you watch the first video, you will know that I have 100,000 K-League limited essence that I need to wash as quickly as possible to be able to craft cards from the leagues that I'm going to play, which is the Scottish League, the Croatian League, and Austria Contender, I should say, because I'll pick up a few German and French cards as well from the second divisions of those countries. And hopefully in a couple of weeks' time, when Premier League players, La Liga players go into the crafting pool, that I will be able to craft a few of those, sell them for good money, and then buy the players that I need for my league. So a good first game week in terms of essence. I'm not really bothering too much about the streaks early doors. I'm prioritizing leaderboards to try and chase some cash and chase that essence as well. So once the squads are stronger, I'm still just picking up the £2 players, the under £2 players from each team, filling out the collections. And then we'll hopefully end up crafting some of the big players from Celtic, Zagreb, Saint Etienne, for example. Hopefully, avoid spending on them early doors, see if I craft them, and then wait for the prices to come down around 5 or 6 game weeks in. So this was very quickly, I'll show you, that was streak lineups for the Scottish League. Picked up about, 2,500 essence there, first weekend. In Contender leaderboards, I had 3 lineups, and again, it was all essence. Picked up about 3,000 essence from those lineups. Emil Fredriksson, one of my favourite players in Contender, banging in a 100 in the first game week, so that was pretty sweet. And then it was all arena lineups. Is it even called Arena now? Yeah, I think it is called Arena. It's hard to get used to all these new names, recycled names, which is very annoying. So the Golden Arena, managed to get into a Golden Arena with the Celtic guys, Carter Vickers and Tierney, both scoring 100s. I was at the game, very satisfying checking my Sorare scores during that game and picking up 4,000 essence for a second place finish because it was a Golden Arena. So the Celtic defenders coming in well there. Elsewhere, I've just been entering loads of elite arenas, so it costs 800 essence to get into them. It's usually 4,000 essence if you come first, 2,000 if you come second. So a couple more here, as you'll see. I'll just scroll down. 2,000 essence there with some of the Lask players. I've got a lot of Lask cards. I'm a Celtic fan, and they now have to face each other in a Champions League playoff. So that's going to be interesting when it comes to making Sorare lineups. Another Celtic lineup there. Got a first place finish for 4,000 essence. So again, Tierney, Carter Vickers, captain. Had the Rapid Vienna goalkeeper in that one because I don't have too many Sinisalos. I think I've only got 2. I usually keep it to a maximum of 2 players from any one team. Casper, who made his Celtic debut, he had 3 or 4 very good chances, but he missed them all and got 28 points. But it was fine because we still managed to get a first place finish there. Again, there's another second place finish with Captain Andrade. First place, Cap 260 this time with Rapid Vienna players. Then a bit of a mix of Hajduk Split and Sinisalo. I don't know why I didn't put Sinisalo actually in that Celtic lineup now that I'm looking at it, but it didn't matter. Both teams came first. Another 1,300 essence there. And obviously, I'll not show you the lineups that didn't do well. There's a few at the bottom there that didn't return any essence. But game week 1 was good. 21,000 essence. And that brought us into the midweek, which is about to finish. All the games are done. Again, entered loads of elite arenas. 800 essence to enter. Getting rid of that K-League essence. Getting neutral essence back. There you go. First place, third place, second place. And annoyingly a 4th place finish with Rafa and Pavlidis on the score sheet. So we were very unlucky. That was quite a strong arena. But overall, Looking at those 4 teams, what's that? 8 fours, 32, 3,200 essence to enter. And we're getting back 7,000 essence. 4, 5, 7,000 essence from those teams. So again, another very productive midweek of essence washing. So I'll show you basically where we're at with limited essence. We have 86,000. And I'm not doing any crafts at the moment because I have, let me show you, I've hit the next 50k essence that I need to wash. I've already got rid of 50,000 by playing arenas, crafting a couple of things. I crafted a couple of cards that were useful, crafted a few that are on the market. No mega stars crafted yet, but I was really enjoying crafting, but then I had to stop because as you can see here, it takes your oldest essence first. And my oldest essence is now 235 neutral and 52,000 K-League. So I will not be crafting again until I get rid of this 52,000 essence. So I've put in about 20 arena lineups this weekend. So I should be able to get about 20 to 25 arena lineups out each weekend, paying 800 essence a pop for an elite arena. And then before we know it, we will then be able to get stuck into crafting for all of this all-star neutral essence. There's a little bit of MLS K-League, which is nothing to worry about because it's only 1,000 or 500 here and there. But obviously been spinning the wheel a bit as well, picking up loads of all-star. We now have SPFL contender essence starting to come through. So I have to be patient, which is annoying. But it's also probably a good thing because it will allow me to hopefully craft a few Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga players later and then be able to sell them for good prices. Like I said, I did pull a couple of crafts, but it was nothing major. You can see here in the gallery what I'm still doing is just picking up the cheapest players from each collection. So, £1.71 base price if I can. If someone's likely to play, like a Ben Olds, I'm willing to go a little bit further and pay $1.99 instead of the base price. And if there's a player that I'm familiar with from previous seasons who I know will be, that can score well, for example, Mikel Nadi at Saint Etienne, I know he's someone who can score well on the platform. You can see it there. I'm happy to pay a bit more for him. Just get him in and start using him, whether it be streaks or whether it be leaderboard. So again, this weekend, I am prioritizing leaderboards, continuing to build the collections for each team, and then 3 or 4 weeks into the season, I'll be able to focus a lot more on the streaks to try and get to those, level 5 and level 6. Just to give you an idea of where I'm at with some of these collections, let me see if I can move this for a second, just so you can see a little bit more of this. We'll just put it there for now. So again, Houston, just ignore that one. That's my only MLS team. Osijek, 5% already, as is Lokomotiv Zagreb, Slavin. We're getting close with St. Mirren, St. Johnston. I think I only need 2 players for St. Johnston now. Hearts are 4%, as are Hibs. You get the idea. I'm trying to focus on SPFL mainly. Then I'll try and complete Croatia, then Austria, in that order. And then I'll start to pick up a few French guys and German guys as well. I've already picked up a few French players, but again, it is fringe collection pieces. I've also started to... I'm not buying everything now from the primary market. Let me just move the camera for a second and show you this. Move this down again. You'll see here that, okay, the top ones are all auctions. I'm trying to get as many in through the door today, Friday, because as you know, the weekends, the auctions tend to disappear and they go to instant buys, which are overpriced. So I didn't touch any of the instant buys last week. So yeah, you'll see here, I'm picking up some cheap cards as well, just from the secondary market. There you go, for example, Vinko Medamoric from Slavin, 57p, because I didn't have him, I'll get him in. He might play sometimes, he might be useful for a streak lineup, for example. There's another one beside him at Istra, Bangura, 85p. Once I get to, 4%, 5%, I'm happy with the collection score then. You obviously you can't get the 6% collection score, so I may as well pick up some cheap guys just to fill out the collections. If I go back here, for example, let's look at one that is almost complete. Let's look at some of these Croatian squads. I mean, 43 players in a squad, 40 players for Slaven. It's a nightmare. If we look at St. Mirren, for example, let me see. I have only 3 players left to collect. It is Paul Incio, who's on loan from Rangers. It's Samuel Ramos, and it is Luke Thomas. So Luke Thomas there is very kindly priced at £1.71. I don't necessarily need to buy him from the primary market for collection score reasons. I know in a lot of Nep's videos he was talking about, to get the rewards for completing a collection, that every card has to be from the primary market. I'm not sure if that's correct. I haven't checked it, and I haven't completed a full collection yet, I don't think. So I'm not sure if the rewards kick in if you get every player, whether it be primary, secondary, or if all of these have to be primary market purchases. So I'll find that out soon enough. But for example, Luke Thomas, I put in a bid for £1.70. It's been outbid. I do not want to pay £2.28. So when he's on the market here for £1.70, I'm just going to go in and offer, £1.35, something like that. If I get him, great. And he's in the gallery then. So if he's in a lineup, I'll go back and do that in a second, because it's asking me for 2-factor, just in case I share all my secrets and my password. So you get the idea. I may as well just get a Luke Thomas from the secondary market, because my priority here is to have every player, because once the St. Mirren team sheet comes out, then I know I've got everyone, and I know I can actually probably put in 2 streak lineups for St. Mirren if I've got every player, because you've got 10 outfield players. I have 2 goalkeepers from each team. I've got two Chapmans, for example, from this team. 2 Scott Baines from Falkirk, etc., etc. So when I've got 2 goalkeepers and the full collections, I will always have the option of putting out 2 streak lineups from the same team, especially at the lower levels. And again, I'm avoiding the big teams for now because they're too expensive, and I'm hoping to craft as many as I can. So Celtic here, for example, I'm a Celtic fan, but I'm only picking up the budget pieces. Dane Murray, Bernardo's away to Poland, I think, on loan. Colby Donovan, picked him up because if Johnston leaves, Donovan might get a couple of games before a new right back comes in. Oxlade Chamberlain, James Forrest. I managed to somehow pick up Jota for $250. He's back in training today, it looks like, so I think it's still going to be probably October before we see him. But good to see him back. Picked him up for $250, but I then got blocked by the seller, and probably rightly so. I'm one of those annoying people that'll just send you a low ball offer, and if I get it, great, and if not, I get blocked by a lot of people. But who cares? If you don't ask, you don't get. There I am, Jota for $250. His most recent sale, £6. So nice bargain, and it was worth getting blocked for. And again, Johnny Kenny's down there, but not going to be of much use to me. So that's where I'm at. My battery is going to die on the laptop in a second. I forgot to plug it in. Let me just show you quickly some of the lineups I'm cooking up for this coming weekend. So in the streaks for SPFL, maybe they're a little bit stronger than last week. I've got a bit of a Dundee stack going on, a St. Mirren stack. I'm chucking in a couple of Celtic classics like Tierney, Casper Hu for the captaincy. I've got a Blair Spittle classic card in there with some Aberdeen and St. Johnstone guys. Contender streaks, I've got a bit of an Osijek stack because they're playing Rudez, I think it is. Bit of a mixed bag there with some Slaven guys, some Easter guys. I've got Mishorl in there as well. But more importantly, I am essence washing again this weekend, so I've got some really strong lineups here. Celtic lineups, basically 2 Celtic lineups with different goalkeepers. I've got a couple of last guys. I've got Nisbet, who scored twice last week. Yeah, the 4th lineup there is maybe not that strong. And then loads and loads of limited teams. I need to fix some of these before deadline, take away those low percentage players and just get my 80%, 90% in there. I've got a split stack. I've got a Celtic stack with Lawrence Shankland. I've got Lask players. I have got Benfica players. Again, some of these need to be filled out before the deadline. Magdeburg back in action this weekend. I've got Baris Atek. I've got the goalkeeper. I've got loads going on here. So I think I've got 16 limited elite arenas going this weekend. I've got 4 rare elite arenas going this weekend. Hopefully we'll get a few golden ones and more essence coming through the door. So that's where I'm at for the weekend, folks. Have a good one. See you on the leaderboards. See you hopefully see some of you in the arenas as well, behind me in the leaderboard, because I need this essence as quickly as possible. Thanks for watching, folks. Hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll talk to you again very soon.